Yes, 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 yes. Welcome back to the Dragons Den, baby, because if you know if it's Saturday, it's the Dens Day, and we are a person short. And first of all, let me say it for the record. Sick, get better. I don't know what's wrong with you. You probably got nasal problems. I don't know. Maybe you stopped up. You know, that pollen out there in PA. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see you on the next go around, man. But we got the two-headed dragon instead of that Ghidorah status. King Ghidorah, that is. But we're going to get into these topics, man. It's good to see the people already lit in the chat. You know your boy is always on 1,000. Let's go. But before I get into anything, man, I have to shout out an individual who won. He won the 4K Blu-ray digital download of Spiral, the new Saw movie. His name is Mr. Fantastical. And thank you for following, subscribing, and all that good stuff, man. I hope you enjoy that movie. That movie is definitely a spiral ride, pun intended. It was awesome. Glad to give back to the community. And to announce, we will be giving away to subscribers and followers on Twitter, we will be giving away that Zack Snyder's director's cut, or the Snyder cut, or the Snyder's verse, or whatever y'all want to call it. But let's get into this real short panel. Two light-skinned brothers, so we both are electrifying today. Well, we really got three, but he's not here. But we're going to talk about the most electrifying man in gaming. My brother from another mother, a.k.a. Baby Ice Cube Slick Gator wearing brother. Pete Kizzle, what's good with you, baby?
What's happening? What's happening? Thank you so much. Hey, it's Saturday. Glad to be here. Glad to see everybody in the chat. Came through to supporting us. I'm always glad to be around good love, good people, and glad to have a good conversation. Hey, look, it's the end of the day. It's the end of the week, but we have it feels like now the entourage, the onslaught of so many games is coming out. I can't keep up. It's too much. I got too much stuff I want to play, and I mean it's a good problem to have. I was just saying it, but we got a lot of stuff to get into now.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. And with Game Pass lit the way it is, I keep telling people to get on that Game Pass hype train, baby, because this week is gonna be a gracious week. We got a big title popping off that I've been waiting for. Now, shout out to my boy Flamish, who tried to make who tested that flight stick for me, and he saved me a few dollars. I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna sit back because I want to play Flight Sim to the maximum. I don't know if I want to get that Turtle Beast $350 controller because I don't see me investing no more big money like I did with Steel Battalion with that style of controller. But I do want a nice flight stick with a throttle on it, man. So if y'all know a flight stick that's good for Flight Simulator and y'all test it out already, hit your boy Lemon up because I'm out here in these streets and I'm looking for a great flight stick. And with that being said, we gonna hop into this topics. We got plenty of action for you, man. We got plenty of information for you. So we gonna hop into that first topic, man. And I keep telling people, like I've been telling people, Tencent is here to make money. So right now, they're in the market to buy Sumo Games for $1.3 billion. Now, this is a subject that's important because these guys got their tentacles like an octopus everywhere. PK, when you heard about this, what did you think? How did you feel? And is this a welcome opportunity for Sumo?
I mean, I would say that they're happy about it, right? Because whoever sold them got a kickback. Uh, I mean, but it's kind of weird, right? Because they made the last two main entries a Little Big Planet for PlayStation, and Sonic Racers. They made a few different kind of games, and they just snatched them right up under 'em. My thing is, 10 Cent, dude. And then we were just talking about this, man. They got investments in over 600 companies worldwide, bro. That's
Right.
crazy. What's even crazy is when I looked up and they own 40% of Epic. That's
Yeah,
insane.
that was news to me when you said that. I didn't know they had, I didn't know they invested in Epic, but
They
600
almost
companies.
have enough to control and dictate what they can and can do.
Facts. That's a fact.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's different. That's big dog status.
Look, these dudes, um, their hustle is we get our money, get our hands into everything, so we get paid by everybody. Not only that, we get insight onto what they're doing because we are now shareholders.
That's a
They
fact.
they they playing a different game, and it's something to definitely keep an eye open. I mean, we talked about it. Tencent got like 31 game studios they bought just last year under their belt.
Mm,
Yeah, they might be small for mobile, but the fact is they are not slowing down, right? They are definitely throwing money wherever it stick.
mm.
And if somebody is wanting to take it, they're gonna take it. And whatever's up under their hood, I mean, I don't care if they are the ones contracted out to do a game. I mean, believe it or not, even the Pokemon Unite game that I've been playing, that's done by Tencent.
Wow, that's crazy.
The thing is they are definitely a I mean, I'm not gonna say they're a threat, but they could be perceived that way. Just the fact of how aggressive they are in investing themselves in core pieces of the gaming industry, not just the gaming, all businesses, right?
Right.
But in particular, we just talking about games. But think about if they have the controlling interest of Epic, which is the people who own the Unreal Engine.
Which is everywhere.
If they own that and have controlling interests, they could dictate anything they just desire. And that is scary, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
But far as Sumo, they're good. They're a good company. They put out some solid products. It might not have been what, on everybody's radar. You might not been that person that play those games, but they've been solid. They've been hired to do um contract work time and time again because they put together solid projects. So
Well,
it's a good pickup for them
I'm a
for
Sackboy
sure.
guy. I own that game, and I
Yeah,
love it, and
and
it's gorgeous. It's
yeah, the
gorgeous.
the last PlayStation little bit Planet games done by them. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're the Sackboy.
Mm-hmm.
So they put together solid projects. So it's a good pickup. However, it's kind of like people need to start paying attention because it's not the end of it. They just doing it a little bit at a time, trying to stay under the radar. You guys are flipping out about a Bethesda, not a Bethesda buy, but um, what's the parent company of Bethesda? It was
ZeniMax. ZeniMax.
ZeniMax.
Right.
You guys are flipping out about that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand how much money Tencent has already invested into the gaming industry just by itself. They might not own everything, but
They
they
got
got
their
their
hand.
money in everything.
Right.
And
Right.
again, they're shareholders, so they can demand to see things inside, right? Especially Epic.
Facts. Facts.
And
That was a shocker when you told me. I was like, they own what? 40% of Epic. That's
jeez,
big boy status because Epic is worth some change. But
man,
I thought that was big. But I think it's a great situation when developers get financial backing because it's like you got to keep them lights on. You ain't got to worry about investors, and that's why we're gonna move into the second segment, which Tim from Double Fine comments on Xbox acquisition and what they've done for them, and I want to talk about the PlayStation 5 getting Psychonauts 2 and it not having PS5 enhancements. But first, we're gonna get into the first part of um the developer from Double Fine Tim. He goes on to state about the Xbox acquisition is now we can just focus on making a game Working for Xbox, we have creative freedom. We have not had our hands tied. They have not dictated what we wanted to do. And we don't have to worry about basically keeping these lights on. And when I say to people, Microsoft takes over your 401k, your medical plans, your dental, your life insurances. These are things that people deal with every day at every job. And this guy's coming out basically saying they came in like Captain America and saved us because as a smaller developer. Remember, this game Psychonauts was crowdfunded. So when Microsoft come in there and say, listen, we're gonna pay these light bills, we're gonna buy us some new computers, put the work into your game. I think it's great when a big company financially, like a Tencent, like a Sony, like a Microsoft, even Nintendo, when they buy one of these smaller teams, and I don't mean by size, I'm just talking about as in finances. It's good to see they only thing they have to do now is just create, make a great game for the community. I have several people that have early access to Psychonauts. I'm not a huge Psychonauts fan. I thought the first game was good. I can't say, oh, I can't wait. Of course, I'm gonna play day one in that Game Pass. You already know how we doing out here. But the thing is, um, I enjoy to see the smaller guys have a fighting chance against the mega game. So, PK, with that being said, man, tell me about his comments, and then get into no PlayStation 5 enhancements, and why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, the no PlayStation 5 enhancement is because it's not a PlayStation 5 version. It's a
Mm.
PlayStation 4 version.
Mm-hmm.
And because they never intended on making a PlayStation 5 version, right? It was always a PS4 and Xbox One version. However, because of Microsoft's backing, they was able to put in more work, but only have to focus on one hardware. It is what it is.
Facts.
Um, and if PlayStation had some sort of good way of transitioning their backwards compatibility, it wouldn't be nothing said really. Just kind of transition and get the upgrade with no. But I think the part of the problem is the toll you got to pay to get the next gen version
Yeah.
and all and the different what did they call it? I mean, even now, Guilty Gear Strive is still in what is it called? They call it
Preview?
ba-
No.
um I forget what it's called, but basically they're still in negotiations with Sony to allow cross platform.
Oh my god. You know why? Because they negotiating how much they're gonna get raped. Because
So,
Sony out here robbing people trying to do crossplay. We've seen that even with
but
the small indies. But go ahead.
but you see what I'm saying, man? There's a toll,
Right.
and is it worth the cost? At the end of the day, it's really not. So it's
Crossplay is
kind of
really for
like,
the community. It's not for anybody else
well,
but us.
I mean that is true, but it's also the same applies to the same idea of moving a PlayStation 4 game to a PS5 game. There's a cost involved,
Right.
and at the end of the day, is it really worth double fine putting in more extra money just to take a risk that it may or may not sell on PS5 when they have a PS4 version that actually works?
Facts.
I'm not saying that they wouldn't. I mean, again, he said himself, the fact that Game Pass allows him to put his game in front of people who probably wouldn't buy his game.
That's a
That is
fact.
dope.
Yep.
And he loves that idea. And he loves the fact that people get to experience his way of telling a story, designing a game. And I think that's dope. My thing is, I keep saying this. I said this before. I was having conversations like, you know, I didn't play the first one. I watched other people play it. However, this game is my jam. I do play platformers. I do play these type of games. Again, my game history proves it. I put in time. I don't just pick it up and then turn it on. No, I
Right.
play through the
Right.
end and 100% these things because I love them. Um,
Facts.
however, I do believe that uh, some sometimes some of these higher end IPs get so comfortable they stop redesigning themselves. They stop trying to take
Right.
uh
Take
a
chances.
risk
Right.
risk
Right.
and trying new things to push the boundaries. And I said this before. It's like I can give you an example. Like hey, I play Mario and Mega Man and all these different things. But be honest with you, Odyssey kind of bored me. It's a solid game, 100%, but it has not created that feel that Mario 64 did for us back in the day. Mario 64 changed everything. And all I'm saying is, when's the last time they have taken that kind of risk on their IP? They play it safe every time.
Facts. But I'm
And
gonna say this. Um, every Mario except the last one and Sunshine. I didn't like Sunshine and Galaxies. I ain't like either one of those. But anything 2D Mario, 100%. This last Mario, I didn't because I don't play my Switch as much as I should. Even though I did put a lot of free smoke on Smash Bros. Ultimate. Thanks to you, my brother, for teaching me the ins and outs. Thank you so much. That game is definitely underrated in the regular fighting scene because you have to be a Nintendo person to even appreciate that game. But what you're saying is 100% the truth, man. I love 100% in Mario games. That's just my thing. That's why I always will buy every Nintendo system. But continue. I'm sorry.
yeah, no worries. It's the thing is, I was using that as an example, not to crap on that or Ratchet and Clank, but I mean it's the same thing I'm saying. Like even the last Ratchet and Clank plays it safe. It uses the safe model, how it tells the story, how you move from point A to point B. Everything has set pieces.
I do,
No,
I do,
this
I do, I
game,
do like it though.
I'm not saying
It's a
it's
great game,
bad.
right? They
I'm
just didn't go like this. Let me observe. Even with the other character, right? She plays exactly like Ratchet, and I was
right.
like, why didn't you give us like she had a special ability or something she do differently? Playing with her and playing with Ratchet is
It's
the same character, so I can agree with you.
it's just
Continue.
easy. It's an easier way to push content out quicker,
Oh, hold on, hold
right?
on, hold on, hold on. First of all, sick. That's not how we drop codes in the chat. I appreciate you, my brother. Please tell the people what that is. You just dropping links to something somebody might claim that they already own. Man, listen, shout out to my boy Sick. I think that's Battlefield 1. So you got to tell them what it's on, what system, so people are now out here trying to claim something that possibly they own already. Nobody want to claim the same game twice. You got to tell them. Shout out to my boy Sick, man. He out here working them chats. I see you. I see Dirt Gravity in the building. Yeah, I know you said I got to get on your podcast and vice versa, my brother. We going to work all of the logistics out. Akuma Matata is in the building. I see my other brother.
108
Yeah.
Dragons
This
TV
is what this
welcomes
is what
Living
we
Split
doing
Screen
today. I'm
podcast to the
living
show.
split screen today because it's two of us. Let's get it. But I'm gonna keep trying to hit the shout outs, man. And continue. I'm sorry.
Now you good.
I'm sorry.
So like I said in the basically he's trying let's say Tim, his crew, everybody, they put their heart and soul in this game.
Facts.
And what I'm saying is not crapping on no one else, but everyone else is set on being safe.
Facts.
This guy
Facts.
is taking chances, risk, trying new things. Like I said, this game, and I was watching like one of my favorite YouTubers played 5 hours of this, and I was watching it. And this game don't hold your hand. And what I mean is, I'm
Uh,
not saying it's hard.
it's
What I
challenging
mean
though.
is,
It's challenging.
it gives you the space to go, like when you're in a hub world. Typically in today's time, they have all these little notifications. Hey, come talk to this NPC over here, or come, this is the next quest or whatever, to kind of lead you or funnel you the next way. He don't do that. He just says, okay, if you want a side quest, it's up to you to go talk to these individuals in this world. And if you don't, then that's not your experience. That's not your part of the game.
It's a
So
fact.
it keeps your game and your experience different than someone else's because someone else might have skipped the NPC,
Right,
or
right.
it might just want to do the main story, might not even care about none at all. Either way, the jokes, the satire, the
It's
storytelling,
written
the
very
voice
well.
actors, it is the point is it's not about when it comes to this game, it's not a game breaking when it comes to gameplay, but it's the experience overall
Yes, facts,
that
facts.
draws you in. And what he is saying is, I want everyone to at least get a chance to try it, even if it ain't for you.
And
And
Game
with
Pass
this
gives them
model,
that opportunity, though. Game Pass will
yes,
on Xbox, it will give you that
yeah,
opportunity to at least try it. And if you
and
like it,
that's his
you can keep it
right,
or erase it.
right, and that's his thing is putting being able to put a position where he was never in a position where 25 plus million people could ever just try his game, right? All the games they ever made, they didn't have a position where they were fully funded and be able to put their stuff in front of so many people at one time. Not just Game Pass, but of course, right now is multi-plat, but just giving an example, right? And I
Hmm.
think that's awesome. And you know, I think the game is going to be a great game, regardless of, you know, it might not be everybody's cup of tea, and I'm cool with that. But what I really like is the fact that they put so much energy into making a perfect project. And I'm gonna just be honest, a lot of the indie games feel the same way. A lot of the indie games I have been playing, you can just see the all the energy they put into this. And Game Pass, like Christ Tales, makes it accessible for people who would typically turn this down. So I'm happy for him. I'm glad this come aboard. I'm excited. I already had it pre-installed on both Xbox and PC. I'm ready to
You
go.
ready?
You know what I mean? So Game Pass made it accessible to me. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna keep it. It just means, hey,
Facts.
I already preloaded this.
Yo, listen, man. I gotta shout out my boy Palm. I mean, Palm, yeah, Palm in the chat. Did you just call me and my light skinned brother double dragons? Yo, I'm looking at the chat. Just oh my god, Palm. Yo, I love you, brother. You're a solid one, but I thought that was a lie. He just called us double dragons. Yo,
That's
PK.
what's up, man.
Yeah, Kumo, I see you in the chat, sister. I needed you for this Activision subject more than anything when we get into that later. But I needed you. But you sounded a little drained, so we'll see you. We'll see you in a minute, man. Because Bloody hit me up with a long Bible text. Jesus, I'm older. I don't want to be reading those little texts. But whatever. We gonna get into the next subject, man. Yo, listen, man. Listen. People in these streets talking about sources. Oh, my sources. Oh, I heard from somebody deep into the company. And we're gonna get into this situation, man. We're gonna talk about this subject. Um, we're really gonna talk about this, man. E3, Nintendo, PlayStation, excuse me, Switch Pros and OLED screens and 4K and 16 gigs of RAM. They're taking it to the next level with Nintendo Pro. So, E3 is gone and went. We didn't see this happen. Bloomberg put out an official report. This was happening. That got debunked. Nintendo didn't say one word about Bloomberg. So Bloomberg comes out 2 weeks and goes, listen, with the Nintendo Switch OLED, they tried to show profit margins, how much Nintendo's paying to make the system, and how much they're benefiting from selling this thing at $50 more. Now, as the Switch Police, shout out to my boy Carl, because he's El Capitan of the Switch Police, but we also got the lieutenant on the Dragon's Den, and that will be my boy PK. PK, please break down this fake Bloomberg report that Nintendo came out and said they have no idea what we spend, what we make, and what it took to build this system. Please give me your opinions. People in the chat, I want to hear this, because you know there's a lot of people on the internet with these fake ass sources. So with that being said, PK, you would think you could trust Bloomberg reports because they're supposed to be a financial company, a financial situation. They're supposed to have insights. But why continuously do they keep getting this wrong about Nintendo? Talk to me.
I mean, the thing is, first of all, I think they just need to do a restructuring on a lot of those dudes over there writing articles of Bloomberg.
Mm,
Man, they got some real out there dudes, and I'm gonna tell you, be honest, dude. Especially the one guy who only plays Destiny but likes to comment on everything Xbox or Nintendo.
facts.
He only plays Destiny on PlayStation. It's like, dude, you don't play games, but you want to write articles about games. Relax. But for as Nintendo's secretive, man. They don't tell nobody nothing.
Nothing. I don't even think they
And
talk to each other.
no, I think they got cups with strings. They don't even use the internet. Remember, they just changed. They just changed from Windows 98 recently. They don't use computers. I'm not surprised. They might send like pigeons with little notes attached to their legs or something, dude. Like you bugging if you really think you cracked. Man, let me tell you, everybody leaks stuff, but Nintendo don't leak nothing. They keep
Nothing.
everything.
You
I'm
won't.
saying
Nintendo
whoever
Direct
knows
has
the
never been leaked.
secrets, whoever knows Nintendo secrets, they got that man locked up in DEFCON 51, 50,000. This dude ain't seen the light of day. He, this man knows everything, but he ain't allowed to speak. He ain't got no tongue. He just write his messages. And
Facts.
and, and I'm just saying, like, yo, but the thing is, to me, it's the whole point of them writing these articles is to be negative, get clicks, blah blah blah. And it's starting to sound more like the other editor situations, like Kotaku, and I could go on. The thing,
Ooh.
these guys write opinion pieces and write them as reports, right? That's
Facts.
part of the problem. They don't know Nintendo's financial situation. I mean, did you see them write a detailed report on Capcom's financial situation when they got hacked and it was revealed? Not much, because that's not really big news. I mean, it's big news on Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft
Right.
on what they doing and what they pockets looking like. And I'm not saying that there isn't something happening. I have no idea. We speculate, but again, these are just opinion pieces. We don't know for a fact. I don't have no idea. And even if I knew somebody worked for Nintendo, they wouldn't know. The only
Facts.
people would know is the people up top, and they will only let the people below them know when it's time for
When
them
it's
to
time,
know.
right? The people on that board. Let's talk about
Nobody
it.
is going to know nothing,
That's a fact.
and that is just
That's a
the,
fact.
the honest truth. Um, at the end of the day, these guys, I don't. This is kind of why I kind of back up and look at their history and how these bigger articles are written on these places. I mean, they carry a big name, but honestly, these people still have agendas to get clicks and traffic. They ain't got nothing to talk about. No one's biting on their little articles because they're not entertaining. They're not giving information that's bringing value. So they just pick something. They just pull something.
That's a
And
fact.
like and the thing is, the OLED 350 versus the regular. Nintendo just said, "Hey, it just costs us $10 to make this $10 more to make this version,
Right.
and it's $10 more, dude. If it costs $50 more, you think Nintendo's still going to sell it for 350? No, they're never going to sell their system at a
They
loss.
never do. History. They
They're
never do.
they're never going to sell it for cost, and they're never going to sell it for a loss. So you got to understand, this is always for profit. It's always going to be that way. But
And shout out to me because I'm one of the dudes that bought the GameCube Panasonic version. I had to pay Panasonic's fee and Nintendo's fee and import it. 3 times I had to pay an extra cost. Nintendo takes no losses on no systems, man. That's a fact. They always sell for a profit. They don't do even Sony and Microsoft in the history of gaming. They always took their build like honestly. We know both of these have PCI Express Lane 4 slots. We know what those motherboards cost. Right or wrong, PK?
Right. And we about to go into PC. We about to go into Gen 5 here
Listen,
soon.
my PCI, my Asus motherboard with the PCI Express lane was 550. Without it, was 250.
Right.
So
And mine was $800.
right, so
And you so and that's just Gen 4. We're not
right,
even talking about the next gen.
right,
That's gonna be
right.
over 1,000 and more.
So
Shoot.
you know, they're definitely selling the PS5 and the and Xbox Series X and S at a loss. That's a fact
Right.
because that that lane is serious. And if for those people who don't understand what that lane is, it's the reason these SSDs matter. That's all you need to know. That is the reason they are able to do these speeds with these motherboards and the
That's why they cost
SSDs.
so much.
That's
That's
why they
why the
cost so
storage
much.
costs so much.
Facts.
It just it is what it is. And the thing is, like I was saying, is they when it comes to Bloomberg, it's got to be for Nintendo to swat them down like that. It's just to tell them, you don't know what
Right,
you're
like
talking
stop,
about, dude.
stop. Enough is enough.
Like,
Nintendo don't even do stuff like that. But continue.
right? If Nintendo, I mean, we could speculate all day. We could
Right.
talk about even with this OLED, is Nintendo working on a new system? Yes,
Everybody is facts.
they always are.
Right. It's like a
And
new graphic
whatever
card. 3 years from now, they're
we
working
won't
on it.
know what it is until they ready to tell us.
Facts.
Just the difference is they don't really leak anything.
No, no.
And the thing is, I'm saying Nintendo will make it official when Nintendo get ready to make it official. But again, they're not trying to hurt their pockets. So as long as Switch is printing money for them, they're gonna continue to let it print money for them. And
Yeah.
then when it starts to slow down, then they're gonna drop this new thing on us, whatever they've been working
But
on.
PK, let
I'm
me
gonna
ask
be
you a
honest
question.
with
Let
you.
me ask you a question. We both have the system. We both have mini games, right? Let's talk facts here. Nintendo don't have to update anything. Their
No,
only thing they would have a problem with is with third party moving into
right,
next gen. They're never getting Call of Duty. We've
right,
seen what
and
happened with The Witcher. That was a
right.
horrible port. Certain things the
But
system can't do.
but what they
Doom,
have been doing
what?
is doing cloud now. So like Control is cloud now. PSO2 is cloud now. So what they've been doing is doing a hybrid to have those games. And that might be the future right now going forward for those games that can't run on the hardware. But the point to answer what you're saying is, do they need to update? Like I said, nope. Not until people stop buying switches. Nope.
Right,
They will
right.
continue to let it print. There's no reason to kill that until it slows down. Then they'll drop something new to phase out the switch. Ain't no reason to phase it out as long as people keep buying it.
And I'm gonna
And
say
it's
this.
just what it is.
I'm gonna say this too. This may sound a little crazy, but PlayStation 4 was a 1080p system, medium level settings, right? Medium to low. The Switch games on my 8K TV look better than the PS4 games at 1080p, and that's crazy. So
That's
technically,
because they are making it optimized for their piece of hardware
right,
versus trying to make it for many others. And that's the difference, right? They don't have to worry about other people's stuff. They just need to make their stuff
right. I'm
look
telling
and
you,
run good on
the
their own stuff.
games are sharper. Like I said, I've been playing a ton now. Now that you taught me how to play, I've been playing a ton of time into Ultimate Smash Brothers. But the crispness of the visuals of the Switch at 1080p 60 is unrivaled until I seen an Xbox Series S. That's the only
Right.
system I've seen at 1080p 120 or 60 frames that has that crisp visuals as the Switch. Because the PlayStation, of course, looked good, but it had jaggies, it had this, it had that. 1080p, they couldn't max it out. They couldn't give you 1080p PC ultimate settings. But when I play a Switch game, I go, damn, this 1080p 60, but it's max.
You
Got
know,
max
I think
settings, and
that's
it looks
funny.
fantastic. Fantastic.
I think that's funny. You have an 8K TV and you're playing the Switch and you're saying it looks great. Someone, I ain't gonna say who, argue with me and says it looks garbage. And
That's because
and
they got that $299 TCL that meet them at the store when they go on the Best Buy. They TV meet them at the door where the real TV's in the back of the wall, and they got like 3 of them. Where they got 50 of those that meet you at the door. But we not going there. All 4K TVs
I'm
are
not. I
not
just.
created equal.
I. I'm not saying.
Shout out
I'm
to my
just
boy
saying.
King David because he is the notorious one for assassinating you
Yo,
$299 TV purchases. But
don't do that because there's people that gotta get a
listen,
299 TV.
listen. You
Yo,
fit in where you get it, but you can't buy a Volkswagen and say you got a Bentley just because it
right,
says
right.
4K.
I
Just saying,
got you.
all
I
TVs are
got you.
not created equal. That's just a fact. But I'm telling you, on an 8K TV, if you get a bad signal or you got a high-end 4K TV and you got a streaming device, it could be for Netflix. It won't have that punch if that device don't give it what it needs to make that picture quality good. You take 480p and upscale it on a TV, 1080p. It's not a good look. So that's you gotta weigh your options. But yeah, man, I think Nintendo is a great company. Everything they do over there. Um, I'm gonna say this. I got a lot of friends in the gaming community that's been here way before me. I know a lot of stuff. I never go on my channel and talk about sources. I don't do it. I try to give people honest opinions, and then I'll say these are the facts. My opinion would never be a fact, but when you hear people come out here, my sources, my this, my that, just look at their track record. They keep saying these things. They keep putting it in their titles. It's not true. Bloomberg is a multi-billion-dollar company, and they can't get it right. So if you got your local person, Kotaku, IGN, your favorite content creator, and they keep lying to you, talking about these sources, E3 comes and goes, and you have to scratch your head and say, do you enjoy being lied to? Because you have to
Right.
see through the nonsense. And if Bloomberg can't get it right, the dude sitting in his house like me, PK, K Mega, Graphic God, Iron Lords, pick it. If you keep getting lied to by these people, eventually you have to slap yourself in the face and say, I asked for it. Because these people with these sources is not true. Nintendo don't give up nothing. They give up absolutely nothing. And we we just need to give people what they want. Like, people was disappointed with Nintendo. I thought this was horrible. They was disappointed with Nintendo because they didn't get a Switch Pro. But technically, Nintendo didn't say that. They
Right.
never said that.
And now
Just like
and that's
Ubisoft with Splinter Cell. They didn't say anything about Splinter Cell.
that's just what we
It's the
want.
community, right? It's the
Yeah.
community. So people go, well, I saw it and it's ready. I saw it pop on the green lights. And you like, oh, we're getting it. We 5 years in since that started. Ubisoft is making everything but Splinter Cell. There's been no sightings. There's been nothing foundational to go off and say they're making a Splinter Cell. But you get all these content creators, you get all these websites, clickbait, clickbait, clickbait. Oh, I got sources and they said it's ready. And it's only for Xbox. First of all, that's not an Xbox game. That's an Ubisoft game. So immediately the red flag should show. So when it comes to any of these companies and these people's sources, we have to take things with a grain of salt. Of course, the community. I'm a big fan of it. I'm a huge fan of the series. I would love to see a return. But technically, Ubisoft did not say this. And we can't take our aspirations or anticipations for something, and when it don't happen because you didn't get what you want, and say, oh, it's this company's fault. No, it's really not, because they didn't say that. If they said, oh, we're making it, and then we don't see it for 5 years, now you got something to say, like, what the hell are y'all doing? But they never said it one word. I'm tired of people going on Twitter making these assumptions that turns the facts, and then dudes making YouTube videos on somebody's opinion And then people think, oh, it's happening. Nobody said nothing about Splinter Cell.
It's the thing is, all you gotta and the thing is clarify.
Right.
These do all they gotta do when they write these pieces, clarify opinion piece.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
it. When you
Mm-hmm.
start reporting it as if it's news, like this is official, and then like you
Right.
said, say I got sources. Like, what is your source? Some dude on Reddit?
Right. Somebody that
Like
it's like Metacritic.
some
How many people can go in there and change a review on Metacritic? Why would you eat? And what kills me, even on Metacritic, I see dudes hate Metacritic. But if you like a game, then they say, and then Metacritic gives us a 90. Oh, Metacritic is the truth now. No, it's being subjective. Either it doesn't count or it does count. I don't understand. I don't understand what we're going to. And shout out to my brother K Mega. GRG is in the building. Show was lit last night. I like to see people come back. Y'all did your thing, man. Sorry I couldn't be there, bro. But you saw I was out there in them gaming streets. No, I was out there in them club streets. Anyway, go ahead, PK. I'm sorry.
no, you good, man. Like I said, um, the way Nintendo does things is they dumb secretive. You can't believe nothing unless they come out and say it to daggone selves, because let me tell you, it is hard. It's easier to get information out of the government than it is Nintendo. I swear to God, it's crazy. Um, and that's to be honest, man. Just gotta remember, just because it's Forbes or whoever, you can't just believe everything that they write. You gotta validate and vet this out to make sure that this is exactly a opinion piece or facts.
Thanks.
It's a little different. You know what I mean?
That's a fact, man. That's a fact. Now we're gonna move into the next. We're gonna move into the next situation here, man. And I don't even know why people making a big deal about this. Right? We're gonna talk about Sony skipping Gamescom. They have skipped Gamescom for a minute now. It's not. It's not like this is brand new. I always say that any major platform skipping these gaming shows, especially E3 and Gamescom. And I'm gonna tell you why I think Gamescom is more important on skipping over E3. E3 is the bigger platform in terms of developer presence. But I'm gonna say this. Gamescom has always been open to the public, way before E3. So I think Sony skipping out on Gamescom is worse than E3 because since 2017, 16, I think 17 is when they opened the doors for E3 to the public. I went the year after. But Gamescom has always had a huge attendance of the public. I think them skipping Gamescom is absolutely absurd. I've been preaching this because you hurt your fan base. Your state of plays, the last 2 years we've been watching, nobody's happy. PlayStation dudes going off. You have a whole state of play dedicated to one title. The last state of play I enjoyed because they showed small titles, medium titles, AAA titles. I was good with that. We got definitely a great look at Deathloop. But Gamescom, PK, Gamescom. One of the highest shows for public attendance. Give me your opinion on Sony skipping out on this, man. And what did you think? Like, did you think like, oh, they've been doing it, or did you think like, damn, again? What did you think with this?
I mean, if I mean, I'm not a huge, I will say, overdying PlayStation fan. I'm just a game fan. So since I just like games, it's just more or less you expect the big guys to show up and promote the people who represent who put stuff or content on their platforms. And for me, I'm like, all right, listen, they have done this before, but I don't know if it's just PlayStation trying to use other avenues, and it might be just that, right? I don't know. 108 win. He just took it. He went and left. But so think about this. Sony typically has been skipping a lot of these big major events. Um, it's not a good look to us. However, to them, they don't see that as bringing value to them personally.
Mm,
So they always got the Tokyo Game Show, and they always have their own events, and they're trying to follow Nintendo's model with the the directs, Nintendo directs. However, Nintendo still shows up at these big events to support their partners. When Nintendo not showing up to support their partners, I think that's a bad look. And not just not supporting them, but also I also feel like they don't have anything to really show. So it's kind of like they don't have really nothing to show. There's no point in spending money here. Let's just save all our stuff for the end to get people hyped for next year because we don't really have nothing to hype you with this year, this holiday, right?
right.
Um, I mean, they may have one more extra game, but outside of that, they have nothing else to offer. So only thing they can do is rely on third party. But not saying that's good or bad, just saying from a perception, it just looks horrible. Like these are big events.
Right.
You're skipping them, you're not supporting your partners, you're not showing up, you're not putting them on your platform so they can represent their games, et cetera, et cetera. But you're doing them digitally. I'm not saying people don't watch them, but they've been doing this for a while.
And can I say
Again,
something? That
yeah,
you brought up a great point. They're not supporting their partners. Now, I'm gonna say this. You go out here, you fight for these contracts to get these licenses rights to promote a platform as you being the lead platform, 2K Call of Duty, right? Now,
right.
2019, we go to E3, right? Microsoft, Sony skipped out. So I'm saying, what stage are we going to see Call of Duty on? You have the marketing rights. You're not there. How does that work? Because they have 2K also, basketball, 2K20 at the time. Uh, what are your partners going to do for a show? Do they got to do their own show now? Do they got to come out their pocket? Because they can't come out on your stage. Um, that's why I thought Battlefield leaned, Cyberpunk leaned towards Microsoft because they're going to show up, put us on the stage. We got Keanu Reeves coming out. Um, we're gonna get into EA later, but just to have Battlefield at the last show showcased on Microsoft platform after it brought in millions of views, millions of people hyped over Game Pass and the 27 games dropping starting from this week until the end of the year. Day and date games, man. Get on that Game Pass hype train. If you haven't get on that Game Pass hype train, something's wrong with you. As a parent or a gamer, it saves you money. But how do you feel about that side? Like, when are we supposed to see the next Call of Duty? Are we going to get a state of play from Activision? Even though they haven't promised, we don't get into that on the next topic. But what do you think about that? Is it a slap in the face for the partners that said, listen, we gave you marketing rights. Where are we going to showcase these games? Because YouTube videos or commercials are not cutting it. You know what I'm saying? So tell me what you think about that.
Also, I think also you gotta keep in mind that they own half of Evo, which is another platform that is used to promote games. Um, I don't know their contract with Activision. However, I do know that they typically have a show in the fall, their own show before or after Tokyo Game Show. I can't remember,
Right.
but one of those. But I know Call of Duty won't show up at Tokyo Game Show. It's gonna be on Sony's show, whatever that is, since they have the marketing rights. Just don't, Call of Duty don't sell in Japan, so that don't matter. Um,
Facts. They're not first
the
person shooters out there. Yes, sir.
the thing is, I think it depends on the contract they still have with Activision and whatever the obligations are. So we don't know. It could have been expiring, and they're not obligated
108
to
Dragons
really
TV
push or
welcomes
promote. I mean,
everyone.
what happened with Cold War? How did that get brought out? Do you remember?
It was Activision's small little advertisements.
Did
Wasn't
they wouldn't put on a show or anything?
not from what I remember. If anybody remembers, Black Ops was shown. All I know, they had a small situation from what I remember from Activision, but it wouldn't have been on a scale of them E3 or Gamescom. But
No,
continue.
and it's weird that they're not talking about this year's Call of Duty, right? Right now. This
Yeah,
this is damn near August.
right, right.
You know
Another
what I'm
week. We're in
saying?
August.
We done seen we done seen Battlefield,
A lot of it.
a lot of it.
Facts.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's
Right.
just a little strange to me. So I don't know. I would think that if I was speculating, it would probably be on Sony's platform because they're gonna do one more before the holiday. They have to,
They have to.
you
Right.
know. So at the end of the day, though, are they under contract to do so? The thing is, they have stated plays all year and shown the same games, but none of them was Call of Duty, and none of them talked about, um, this fall outside of what was coming. It just says stuff coming. You don't, you know what I mean? Like you don't know.
And they announced before E3 they were gonna have 100 shows before the year was out, and I was like, what?
100 shows. This is almost August,
Right? Like I'm what? But go ahead.
unless they're trying to do episodic 1 minute trailers and call them a show.
Right,
And
it has to be because there's not that much content to show from now till December. But continue.
I mean, that's my thing, right?
Hmm.
If you had content to show, then you would show up to the bigger events. Tokyo Game Show is not that big. That is
No,
exclusively that.
Japan.
And you know what? It's not even big this year because they're going digital now. The Tokyo Game Show
Mm,
is actually getting smaller every year, not because there's not people doing work, but because they're doing it on different platforms and avenues, right? Is that thing where they just shifting where it brings value. Think about it. Scarlet Nexus showed up first on which platform
Microsoft.
during which event?
The event. Microsoft event.
During their event, right? Their
Right, right,
big
right.
event.
The
So
big event.
my thing is
They showed up so
nobody
much, I thought it was exclusive for a minute.
they
I was like, what? This exclusive?
but you see what I'm saying, right?
Right, right,
Nobody this is a new IP. Nobody even seen it coming.
right.
And they partnered with Microsoft to get the marketing rights for this game. But Microsoft, promoted this game like like Nintendo promoted Monster Hunter.
Right.
Even though Monster Hunter now is on PC or whatever, but the point is they had the marketing rights, so they promoted Monster Hunter to this day, right? Until
Right,
their
right, right.
contract expired. So I'm thinking that's probably the case, that there is some ambiguity there when it comes to what they should or what they got to and what they don't got to. But it's not unheard of that Sony doesn't spend money for those exclusive
Oh, they spend the
contracts.
money. They just
But what is in those contracts?
right,
That's the
right,
thing.
right, right.
That's kind of how I look at it. But at the same time, I still find it weird that Activision has to sell a Call of Duty, but has not shown a Call of Duty, and it's August almost,
Facts,
8 months into the year. It seems
facts.
strange.
A little bit, but I want to move into a subject and shout out to one of the original 20-year veterans come November. My man Crow is in the chat. And it's New Jersey Cowie. That's my guy, man. 20 years 108 Dragon's been around, man. And I was bringing it down to how long 108 Dragon's been around. People was like, damn, 20 years? Yeah, this year makes our 20th year anniversary, down to when we used to do the big show called Digital Life. Was founded by Ziffer Davis. Used to be in the Jacob Javits Center, where they had the Wii when it first came out, and we used to do those shows annually, man. And I got an event coming up that's called Games New York. We will be doing a huge coverage. So the week of August 7th and 8th, the weekend, I won't be on the Dragon's Den because I'll be out there shooting this gaming footage. We got a nice event, man. I wish all my people could show up and have a great time. That's an event we doing. on the Dragons Den, man. And shout out to the chat, man. Y'all out here, y'all lit, man, and it's greatly humbling and appreciated, man. And shout out to my winner today, like I said, Mr. Fantastico on that 4K digital movie, man. But this is a subject I want to get into this, man. I don't want to destroy this company, but shout out to Akuma, who I really wanted her opinion on this situation. My sister couldn't make it. The queen of the den. Yes, I like that. The queen of the den. I like that. So, shout out to her. I really wanted her opinion and kickback on this, man. But Activision is being sued and for womanizing, bad work environment. EA back in the days used to be the king of a bad work environment, but it's a lot of sexist stuff going over there in Activision. Now, I'm gonna say something that people didn't say. Shout out to my boy Jeepers in the chat too. Welcome. I'm gonna say this for the record. Bungie immediately comes out and says, well, over here in the Bungie studios, it's zero tolerance, and we are terminating people for these actions. It's like they separated themselves from the Activision situation. Now, this is a big topic that I think every content creator needed to cover. Everybody has been lit this week. Everyone. The first time I've mentioned anything was on the next podcast. Shout out to Xbox, man. I really had to say my piece when it came to this. But honestly, GLG did their thing last night too, and several other podcasts. I look forward to seeing what my Iron Lord brother's gonna do. I'm gonna say this, man. We're living in a world where things need change. I don't care what ethnic background you're from. I don't care male or female. I don't care if you voice over characters. I think people have to be represented properly. I think as a content creator, I have a responsibility to put this out here for any subject that degrades a woman, a man, an ethnic background, or anything. I think we have that responsibility. It was good to see Bungie, who works for Activision, or used to, completely separate themselves from this disgusting accusation. I can't think of homeboy's name that said he failed him from Blizzard. He said he failed. Somebody help me in the chat. He said he failed. He failed the community. Activision, man, they've been number one since EA got dethroned as the worst company to work for. Talk to me, PK, how messy this is. And then we're going to get back to good gaming news because, over here we promote great gaming news. But sometimes you got to touch on touchy subjects, man. And I think, especially when it comes to women with the mind as major that they are in the gaming community, that they still going through this sexist BS, man. PK, give me your thoughts on this when you saw this. And Akumu, you should have been here, but you can get in the chat and work your Twitter fingers. But PK, talk to me, man. Give me an oversight of the situation. And did you like that Bungie immediately was like, nah, not us. We ain't doing that. Talk to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, Bungie just want to make sure that they protect their brand. And I'm not saying that they are not doing what they say they're going to do. However, they want to make it clear.
They made it clear.
That's, there's a line drawn in the sand here.
Right.
So, and I said this before, I said kind of last night, you know what I do for a living. I work in cyber and in cybersecurity, and I work directly under the CISO. And there's a lot of people that got a problem working for a woman as a boss. She is the boss. She is the person.
Preach.
Right? And they have a problem with that. And it's not like she's not qualified. It's not like she's dumb. She's super intelligent. She's been in the game a long time, damn near longer than I've been, almost longer than I ain't trying to talk about it, but she's been in a long time.
Longer than you've
You
been
know what I mean?
alive. You can say it.
I won't
Almost
say
as
that.
close
I
to
won't
you.
say that. I would say
I'm gonna
I
say
would
it before
say
you.
it's been she's done it a while, right?
Right.
So she knows her stuff. You know, she worked for the city, the county, the government, a little bit of everything.
Right.
And she's more than qualified. The problem is she had to do all that to double qualify herself for her
Mm.
role.
Undeniable hiring, baby. Let's go.
And
That resume up.
they couldn't find anyone that can match her creds. And
Nice.
all I'm saying is it's funny, but people out there uh, don't view women as equals.
No.
They don't hold them as the same value as their worth or their work ethic. Like, they didn't believe that there were women technicians that go up on a roof and work on your house. There definitely are.
Facts.
There are definitely women out there that do everything any man would do, and sometimes they could do it better. So it's more or less stop viewing them as a woman and just view them as an employee, just like I view my boss as an employee. I don't see her as a woman. I see her as my boss. She does a great job. I
Right, right,
love her.
right. Your colleague.
And at the end of the day, that's part of the problem. That culture exists, not just in Activision, but everywhere, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
And
All around the world.
sick. He mentioned something about NAACP taking or they offered a donation to them for Negro College Fund or whatever. But write-offs are write-offs to billionaires at the end of the day. People don't pay taxes, always give money away. Until if you want me to believe, because like I said, these people, um, they got trauma in their lives. You really mess with them to a level where they can't come back from. Let me just put it this: there was just not too long ago a woman who was who is certified or legitimately on paper have a disability. I forgot which kind. It was something about I can't remember. I'm not The point is she had a disability. She worked for Walmart for 20 years and she was under restriction on how long she could work due to her disability. Yet Walmart changed her shift, changed her schedule, and refused to give her exceptions or change it back according to what was agreed on between her and the county and state. Well, they got sued and Walmart had to pay her millions.
Mm.
The thing is, it's not on her. It's not like it's a one-off thing, and until these companies start showing uh real change. Like for instance, I looked up Activision. I said, how many
108
black and
Dragons TV
brown
welcomes everyone.
executives are there in the company? There are none.
Mm.
And I'm not talking about supervisor or customer service or IT or something like that. Those are low-level management jobs. They're not the people getting those millions
Right.
cut in the back. And then I said, well, even better yet, how many women are on the executive board? And then I go and say, well, do they have a D&I department? No, they
Mm.
don't have none of this stuff. And the reason why is because these are the practices they used to. The only time these people gonna change is when you hit their pockets. When you start taking away their money, their funds, they brand,
That's a fact. That's a fact. You gotta hit them where it
that's when
hurts.
stuff happens.
Right.
But the thing is, there's not enough money in the world that's gonna be able to replace these people's pain, they trauma, they suffering, and everything you did. You can't bring that woman who took her life away. You can't bring her back with money. You
Facts.
know what I mean? Like they don't care how it's affecting other people's life. So, in order us as gamers in a community, when we see stuff like that, not only do we need to all get around and join with each other and speak about it, but we also need to put our
108
energy
Dragons
into it.
TV
I
welcomes
said this
Graphic
before.
God.
If you can make a Patreon wishing a game wouldn't be telling Kojima not to make a game for Xbox, you can make a Patreon about this
Facts.
to make real change that's affecting people in their lives. Cause like, come on, man, we everyday people. You can't go back and just play Call of Duty like this don't matter. This affect everybody.
It's a fact.
Because quiet as a kept, it's going to happen to you. It might not be Activision, but again, it's not just them that's doing this.
No, no, it's not. It's just a big corporation that got blasted, but they needed some smoke. I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm about to hit these dudes with a haymaker, Mike Tyson style.
Yeah, for sure. And all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, like, I'm on a DNI. I'm one of the chairs of my DNI committee at my job. So diversity, inclusion, all that matters so much to me, because in order for an organization to be strong, it has to have people with different opinions, different perspectives,
Different
different
views.
backgrounds.
Right.
How can you innovate if you don't have different thoughts put into the mix? How can you innovate if you don't have that energy from different perspectives? You can't. You can't be strong either.
No.
So you can't have that divisive mindset, thinking that you're elite. You're not elite. You're just a number.
Facts.
And at the end of the day, if the brand is more important than any one person. And if they feel like it's going to threaten their brand, they're going to eject you, no matter if you're the CEO or the CFO.
Facts.
You will go.
Facts.
You know what job, whenever there's a restructure, what job is the least impacted? It's typically not it's typically the lower end workers.
The entry levels.
The managers are first to go.
Facts.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, at the end of the day, we got to continue to talk about it. We got to make noise. We got to frown upon it.
Right.
You know, as a gaming community, we have to make sure it's well known that we don't have no energy for that.
Right.
Not none. You know, they are, and yes, women do got it hard, a lot of different ways, because, you know, there's a lot of stalkers and stuff. I mean, hey, one of the wrestlers, she got kidnapped by a stalker dude. Kidnapped in her own home. I mean, she's good. She's out now, but just think about it. She can't wrestle no more. The trauma is too deep.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Now
like,
she got a mental problem. Now it's affecting him emotionally and mentally and everything else. Facts.
And everybody deals with this stuff a little different. So we can't compare ourselves to the next person, because their trauma breaking point is different from ours.
Right.
Right. And all I'm saying is, for these companies to be this predatorial is normal for them, but we got to break the normal. We got to pop the bubble and have these conversations and talk about these things to push this effort forward, because we will never, if we don't do it, nobody else will. If we don't take care of each other, nobody's going to take care of us for us. We got to have that same energy that made the change. Think about this. The reason why we went through, or I'm just going to pick one piece of America. I know there's a lot of viewers out there, just America. We had a civil rights movement era. Mm-hmm. They fought hard and took a lot of stuff just to make change happen. The last thing we could do, and the most disrespectful thing we could do, is not carry that flame forward and continue to fight for injustices as we move forward. And particularly, we are gamers. We shouldn't be having that anyway.
It shouldn't be even in the subject. Facts. That's a fact. But I'm gonna say this for the record, man. And ladies and gentlemen that's watching, man, I'm gonna say this for your moms, your grandmothers, your aunties, your cousins, your sisters. Let me tell you something, man. They always say behind every great man is a woman, right? Let me tell you, when you do not support the women that you work around, the situations that you go through with any background, you hurt your brand. This is not a good look for Activision, man. They talk about sexism. It's like dudes just blatantly being disrespectful to women sexually. It's a disgrace. They have to be respected like you want respect as a man, you gotta give the women respect, man. And you can't womanize a woman and expect them to perform. This subject was very touchy for me, and I was like, damn, man. Like, do you the days of women being barefoot, butt naked, and having babies and just cooking is outdated. You got strong women out here, you got intelligent women out here, and they need to be supported on any level. Any level. We have to do the right thing. And in gaming, this should not be a subject. You know, we have great women in gaming. Um, and you know, we have to believe in them. We have to support them. We have to support their podcasts. We have to support the women panel members that come out here because at the end of the day, gaming is dominated by men. The other day I was in the chat and they said, listen, there's a girl that came into the chat and they said, oh, she don't really play with the guys no more because dudes are saying sexual comments to her while she's playing on Xbox. And as a woman and as a gamer, it shouldn't matter because when I played Call of Duty with her, okay, I was the best dude in the room, but she was the second best in the room. But you saying real craziness to her, and I was like, and she was like, fellas, I'm holler at y'all later. You could tell she was uncomfortable, but instead of them respecting her as, oh shit, she busting our ass, or giving us great teamwork, the sexist stuff that I was listening to, I'm like, this is on a gamer level. Imagine in a corporate environment where the big dog don't want to listen to somebody because they're a woman. I just thought it was disgusting, man, and we have to be better. Men, we can have more content creator females, gamers, coming on, female gamers coming on podcasts if you make them feel comfortable. Everything is not about being a sexist. Everything is not about their attraction, your attraction, or saying derogatory statements to them. You got to make them feel welcome. And if you want a gaming community, it shouldn't matter whether it's male or female. Everybody should be accepted. I don't even care if it's an opposite platform. I think everyone needs to be accepted. And for Activision, as the billions of dollars that they're worth, to even still be doing this is a disgrace. It's a disgrace to even hear this. I was reading this subject, this article, and I was disgusted because I'm a single father. I have a very strong-willed daughter. She's going to be a very powerful, guided individual because she drives to be that person. I can't, and she's attractive. I can't even imagine my child going through this situation on this level from a corporation the size of Activision. You know, it just, she wants to be a forensic scientist. And it's just, as a father, I can't stand it. I want to, in relationships, I want a strong woman. Somebody like, let's just say something happened to me tragically and I can't work no more. I want a woman that can hold me down. Some of you dudes are intimidated by that. And y'all the minority. Because a real man want a strong woman to make their family strong. Or any other situation. You want your company to be strong. If it is a woman, you want them to be strong and be able to handle their own. I don't understand why we even having this conversation on women being basically treated like nothing, but you still want them to perform at the highest level. So I figured I wanted to touch on this, man. I don't like really talking about stuff like this because it brings a whole element out of me. But we have to do better as a gaming community, these companies, and we got to hold them accountable for it. We just can't give them a pass. I'm happy to see every content creator I saw attack them on this level because you asked for the smoke. We have to be better. Men, you have to be better because you surely wouldn't want your daughter in no slippers and she's highly intelligent and all she could do is cook some bacon in the morning with some eggs. You want more for your child. So want more for the community, man. Want more for your siblings. Want more for your wife, your girlfriend. You want more out of life? You can't do it by yourself. We live in a double to triple income United States. We have to do better. You gotta support each other. It's a support system. And I just think it was disgusting, man, on the whole situation. But we're gonna move in to something a little bit more positive because that kind of burnt my spirits. So I can't even say let's go with no energy. So we're gonna get into EA Play thoughts. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Okay, Mega, you know I'm hard with that, situation. I try to I don't really like preaching. I just like talk about gaming, but some things need to be said, man. And the other night on Next, you really killed it, and I appreciate you too, my brother. But it's just the facts. So we're gonna move into EA Play thoughts. We're gonna try to get the spirits back up in this podcast. 'Cause damn, I didn't want to do that, but it needed to be done. But we're gonna talk about EA Play thoughts. PK, talk to me. Did you watch EA Play? Was you impressed? Did you see something you like? I know you're not a Battlefield person, so you can skip that. But talk to me about what you did see and what's your anticipations for the games that you did see. Talk about it.
I mean, I'm not a Battlefield guy, but it looks impressive, right? And what I really like, I'm gonna tell you what I really like. My boy Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed, did do their
Woo!
EA Play, which was
Shots
pretty
fired.
dope in my opinion. And I'm like, yo, this man is actually representing gaming. Even though he a wrestler, he represent gaming. He is on multiplats. Hey, this is my guy. So hey, shout out for EA for getting him the host. That's dope. So it definitely made it definitely drew me in to pay attention. Um, I wanted to talk about the. I'm glad. I'm not. I wanted to talk about the Dead Space. So Dead Space is one of those games that's everyone wants. Everyone wants the next Dead Space, but they want it to be capture the same energy part one and part two did, right?
Right.
Um, and I hope so. And I'm really intrigued and hopeful that it does deliver. But something else stood out. It is Seer is current gen only. And me and my buddy I think Jeepers we was talking about next gen or this gen only games. Is it really the right time to do that?
Well,
Because
it
my
de- it
thoughts
depends. It
was
depends. It depends, bro. It depends. Maybe they wanna take advantage of these systems and don't want to do the other side. But go ahead, continue.
no, I mean, I get that. However, not everyone can get a system.
That's a fact.
So is it really the right time to do that? And the thing I'm getting at is if everyone can't get a hold of these systems, then how can you sell these games?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Technically, with Xbox and EA play with Game Pass, let's get on that Game Pass hype train. You could do what I did today, because I'm not buying this game, but I'm excited for it. But you could download all three versions plus that turn-based strategy game also on Game Pass. So if you need to, you ain't gotta buy the remake, but you can definitely play it today. I should get paid for that commercial. But go ahead.
But you get what I'm saying
No,
though,
I get
right?
you. I get you. I
It's
get
it's
you.
like, okay, so you cool with Knockout City.
Awesome, awesome, awesome game.
It is a good game, but you cool with that. But Dead Space, not that I'm upset because I do have the next gen or this gen consoles and a PC
Right,
that can run
right,
it.
right.
But what about the people who don't?
I just gave you the answer.
I know
Game
it's
Pass.
rhetorical.
Get on the
It's
goddamn Game
but
Pass.
but
Oh,
but
oh.
wait a minute. We're talking about running it and so if it's on Game Pass,
Uh-huh.
can they install it on the Xbox One?
Yes.
Even though it doesn't
It's
have an
backwards
Xbox.
compatible.
Wait, But what if they? Do you get what I'm saying? What if it is hard coded? Because there are games that is this gen only
No, no,
that
no,
will not install even if you have Game Pass.
no, no. Listen, listen.
It'll
Um,
say your device is not
no,
supported.
EA, Dead Space 1, 2, 3, and that strategy game, they all work on Xbox One.
Right, right. But I'm talking about the
And if you
new
got an
ones.
Xbox One X, you get them enhancements.
Right. But the new ones definitely not going to support the last gen uh,
The new one is
console.
not right. Right, it's next gen only.
So so that's why I was thinking like, man, um, it will be really messed up if this comes out and not everyone has a series or a PS5.
Mm-hmm.
Then they won't be able to enjoy this. And I'm sure people out there trying to get them because they're, I mean, looking every day, can't really find those Series X's.
No.
Um, but that's kind of what made me think about. But yeah, Knockout City is dope.
Yes, it
Um,
is.
it's one of those, and what's cool is it is in its own space. Like there's no dodgeball out there, right? So and it does it pretty fun. It's easy to pick up, competitive, etc.
Right.
Um, and but those are the things that kind of stood out. I was like, I'm excited for Dead Space. However, I'm thinking we're not in a good spot to make this gen only games right now because not everybody could get their hands on this gen's hardware
Mm-hmm.
unless you put it in the cloud. Now, if it's in the cloud, hey, Game Pass, like you said, all day.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not, then is it really what we should be doing right now? Are we, because in some kind of way, it could be disenfranchising your customers. I'm not saying that they might not have the money to get the consoles, they're just not available. They can't go into a store and get it. I feel like when it gets to the point where you can walk into a store and pick one up, that's when you should be saying, okay, cut let's cut it off and focus on this. Because the way I understand development is they make the game in high fidelity and then scale it down.
That's a fact. That's what I try to tell
So
tell people. That's how they make games.
so so if they scaling it down, all they gotta do is keep turning off. You gotta
Certain
sacrifice
features.
stuff
Right. Right.
to make it work, but you
Right.
could make it work. The reason, same thing I was saying about the PC guys, the reason why they don't trip is because your system can technically be viable for 10 years before you absolutely have to replace the hardware.
Facts.
So you could technically continue to still play games. Just because you got old hardware
108
doesn't mean it
Dragons
can't
TV
work.
welcomes Graphic
It just means
God.
you got to turn settings down to continue to make it work. But it's still usable.
Facts.
And that's kind of how I view the older systems, is it's still usable. I mean, think about it. I know we haven't talked about it, but the Steam Deck, right? The Steam Deck is not coming with super powerful hardware. It's just coming up with hardware that's good enough to play games on that small factor.
Facts.
It's like a cheap gaming PC. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong with it. Just
Mm-hmm.
throwing it out there. But for me, I think, like I said, I'm cool. I'm glad Knockout City is still getting support. I think this is gonna stick. I'm also I mean, there's a couple other games that intrigue me. However, those are the one. Dead Space is the big one. Battlefield is obviously a big one, but I'm just curious about the this gen only titles as we're talking right now.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna say this, man. Lost at random. Tim Burton dude. All day. All day. It was good to see
Yeah, I seen
Grid
that.
drop the Grid Legends. I thought that was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. You have to see the finished product, but the Tim Burton game, Lost in Random. Oh my God, I was just like, now that's what I'm talking about, man. That I love games that's creative. Like I said, I was interested in Psychonauts. I love games that look like that, man. Absolutely amazing. Now, Dead Space, I'm gonna say this. I re-downloaded them today. I'm gonna play through the first three. I don't want to buy no more remakes of something or a reboot. I mean, I want a reboot, but not a remake. Um, Dead Space being next gen only, it really didn't bother me. But I am gonna say this: for those people who do have next gen systems, you didn't dive into this, you enjoy Resident Evil. It's definitely bringing some great sci-fi elements to it, man. The horror generation of sci-fi is awesome. I will not be picking this up, just like the Master Chief, not the Master Chief person. Oh my God, Mass Effect a collection, remaster. I didn't pick that up. I beat those games 3 times a piece. I'm done with that game. But for it to be able to be introduced to a new community who didn't dive in, and they getting stuff that we didn't deal with, like the first one with the controls and all. It was still a great game. The storytelling, the story overall for all 3 games was absolutely amazing. I won't be buying Dead Space. But what I did do is I went on my Xbox and I downloaded all 3 versions, and I'll play again through them with some enhancements because of the Xbox Series X, or if you have an Xbox One X system, you can get some enhancements. I think this was a great situation. But Battlefield, Portal, my God. And people was like, oh, I wanted them to bring back World War II. Oh, Battlefield 1942 or whatever that one was on PC. I can't think of the exact number. They're putting a mode, content created. Create your own modes, create your, put it on a level, do what you want, freedom. For you people out there that wanted to play World War II, these Battlefield 4 members, Battlefield Company 2 members that love modern weapons, we coming for your ass. Let's see if those M1s gonna hold you down when we coming at you with them M4s, M16s, Calicos, and we gonna see. Now we have a mode that's gonna separate the Battlefield player from the bums. I am excited about this Portal situation, and I want you to put any type of situation you want. But when I get those M4s in my hand, those all 21s, those M16s, those that was a mode that excited me. I was stoked when I saw oh, those are different genres, different eras you could play. World War II planes versus jets. Good luck with that. I was just like, damn. Because this is something for everyone. Even you could just create an old-fashioned scenario with just World War II weapons. I get it. But I'm just saying, when we have that big mosh pit of a situation, yo, PK, man, I was so excited. Because there's a lot of people talking trash. Oh, in Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, I could do this, I could do that. Now, you have the opportunity to have a great game night and a mosh pit from hell. Because I'm telling you, it's free smoke coming from that boy Lemetius. I am giving out free smoke. That excited me. It was good to see. We ain't even seen all the modes yet. That just was one mode. That just was a content created mode. Now, hopefully you can still rent a server, make your own situation. That would be excellent. Or maybe they're using these Azure servers and we could do it for free. But at the end of the day, I thought this was absolutely amazing. Amazing to see that they put all of the major battlefields in one mode for the community to get out here and do what we want to do for everyone. And I thought that was awesome. But that was my take on it, man. Like I said, I really like Lost in Random. I was like, wow, this is some Tim Burton crap right here. So I'm definitely with that. I'm with that single player experience. I'm with that platform experience, and the game looked very intriguing. The story was intriguing. I'm into that. I'm day one on that. Now we're gonna move into our last subject, man. I see everybody in the chat lit, man, and let me shout out the legendary. Give my man a round of applause. The legendary Yobi. You've been here for a minute, brother. Sorry you went back to your old schedule because I definitely asked you to come on, man. You know, your presence and opinions is always greatly appreciated over here. Yeah, man, and shout out my brother Infinite, man. You've been working those chats, man, like a stripper works a pole. But we not gonna go there. But anyway, let me get into this. We gonna talk about the infamous Stream Deck. We're gonna talk about Valve coming out and saying, to date, we haven't found a game that the Stream Deck can't run off of Steam's platform. Now, this is an absolute great situation. These are things you want to hear. We know it's a 720p screen. We know it has ray tracing at 720p. We know it has 16 gigabytes of GDRX hardware. We know that the APU is definitely about that smoke. It's going to give you a great portable and in-home experience. This will be a console that's better than the average person's PC. So my recommendation is, if you want to get into PC gaming, even if you don't want to do portable, get this, get the dock, plug it up to your TV or any other USB-C hub that has HDMI's out. Plug this thing in your TV. Get your console and PC gaming on, because that's basically what it is once it's plugged to your TV. It's the ultimate hybrid. No, this is not a Switch competitor. This is for the PC side. This is for Steam OS. This is for Steam labeled games, which is millions of games is on that platform. If you don't want to go build a PC, listen, I would recommend buying the 256 version because of the NVMe. They do not recommend you open it in the system and try to replace the memory. So I would take that with a grain of salt. Do not try this at home, kids, if you don't have the experience. But I am gonna say this: if you look at my last video talking about the Steam Deck, I did a test playing a game from the micro SD card. The only problem is the installs, because the micro SD cards do not accept the megabits per second bandwidth as an SSD or a mechanical hard drive. That's the only problem I had. But once the game was installed on the micro SSD, I played in a faster scenario. I have a pro grade micro SD card reader, which can read up to 2,000 megabits per second, and the fastest micro SSD is only 30 megabits a second. So I have the fastest scenario that I tested it on. The install was long, but the game played fine, played well, played very well. But the install was just crazy. But with that being said, man, what do you think about Valve coming out and saying Steam Deck hasn't been challenged by any game on Steam? And shout out to Yobi for the $5 uh, uh, Cash App, because soon as Super Chat's available, I'm gonna put it, people, because I've been they purged my damn 2,000 hours. So I should have been over the 4,000 mark from day one or when he did it, but they purged me. Shout out to Yobi, man. Peace and love, life, brother. Shout out to you, brother, for that Cash App, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you so much. You're awesome. You're the man. Listen. Let me, tell me your thoughts on this, that it hasn't been challenged, BK. Tell me, do you think this is going to continue? And mind you, this is a new chip, fast SSD, micro SD capabilities, and fast RAM. What do you see for this? And are you happy to see that Valve said they haven't seen a game that doesn't work? What did you think about that when you saw this?
I mean, it's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, most PC guys don't think about this stuff because their hardware is going to last 10 years before it's obsolete. So, generally speaking, even with mid-grade hardware, this APUs are DNA 2, similar to what's in the series consoles.
Facts.
So, yeah, it's got the capability of running this and running any game. There's really no limit and in today's time. And, maybe 6 7 years in the future that might change, but that's then. This is now.
Right.
And for those who want accessibility, who wanted to have some sort of gaming experience on a PC, this is your entry level way into that. You tell me, where can you find a PC that can play games at $400?
Not with ray tracing. That's a
I
fact.
mean, I mean,
That's a
even
fact.
without even without ray tracing, where do you find a PC, a gaming PC, at $400 that can play every game on Steam?
That's a
Show me
fact.
that.
It doesn't exist.
So, with that being said, even with the tiers, the hardware don't change, just the storage.
Yeah, the storage. That's the only thing that changes,
The
right?
hardware is the exact same. So with that being said, is it's already built out the box to do what it needs to do,
Mm-hmm.
and give those people, of course I'm gonna get one, but like uh, kids that can't get a expensive gaming computer, here you go.
Here you go.
And like you said, you can plug any dock or
Any
any
dock,
kind of
right?
out into the TV and be able to play it. It uses any USB or Bluetooth compatible device.
Mm-hmm.
So you're good to go. What's the downside outside of having to buy your
108
games
Dragons
from
TV
Steam?
welcomes Graphic
If
God.
you don't have a Steam library, you'll have one now.
Yeah, facts.
So I think that is good. What I really like is it looks that Valve found their niche because they have made plenty of hardware that has not done well. I think this is their best attempt at doing a good job at hardware. And let me throw another statistic out there for you, brother. This is
So,
also AMD's third platform
mm, facts.
in the gaming industry for platform for any console, because let's be honest, Steam is a PC, however, it's a console. So this is the third platform for AMD to get into making chips for platform owners. That means, with that being said, in my mind, that means there's going to be more support coming this way. There might even be Steam only for its Steam only, Steam OS only games.
Mm,
Might be optimized just for that particular system.
facts.
And it might be similar to the Series S in optimization, since they all run RDNA 2. And
Mm,
think about this. I looked at the RAM. The RAM is running in quad channel.
yes, sir.
Let me tell you something. Even high-end PCs today, a lot of people are not running in quad channel. And I know
That's a
a lot of people
fact.
say, what's the difference? Well, there is a difference in how it moves data around and stores it in the RAM. This is why 16 gigs is more than enough. It's more like having 32 gigs,
Facts.
just because of how it places and move RAM around. It works. Um, it's able to move and store the RAM in such a way that it can compress and decompress stupid fast. So they definitely put together a well. It may not be the most powerful, however, it is very clever on how they put this hardware together to be able to support games going forward. I believe this system will be good for the next 6 years going forward, 6 7 years, and to
Facts.
be good to go for sure. And it probably get cheaper over time,
Of
especially if
course.
everyone
If
keep
they keep
buying it.
buying it, right, right.
So
I thought this was an awesome entry level situation. Like I said, man, you can't buy no PC that's doing ray tracing at 720p 30 frames. There is no PC out there. It's like when shout out to Linus Tech and those dudes over there, J2Sense and all that. Oh, we're gonna try to build a PC that do what the Xbox Series X does or the PlayStation 5. First of all, you can't even buy a GPU at that price. That's gonna do what these two systems do. Let's stop right there.
You
You know,
couldn't, you can't buy a GPU at that price, even if it was normal price.
facts.
They could do what they do.
Right. And let's just be real here. Most people don't have 12 teraflop GPUs in their house because that's high end. That's the big boys. Or 10 or 9.2. The average person don't have, they don't have that available to them at those regular prices. And Infinite, you always welcome here, my brother. Facts. Shout out to you. But with that being said, man, listen, you got any more input on this?
No, I'm good, man. I think it's solid. I think we got a lot to look forward to. Again,
Yeah.
the only problem is we got too many games, but I think it's a good problem to
Right.
have.
Got hard drive space issues.
Right.
Facts. Listen, man, this is episode 19. We will be doing 20 next week. We will be skipping a week on the week of the 7th and the 8th because I will be doing a live event on gaming coverage. Man, I can't wait. And you might even get some cameos set up over here. We might have some cameos set up. And we're gonna have I might have special guests live or special guests recorded. Let me say, I'm gonna keep that on the wraps. But listen, man, the chat, y'all have been awesome, active, and important, man. Without y'all, there is no us, man, and it is greatly appreciated. Next week we're gonna do some more giveaways. If you new here, like and subscribe, man. I'm giving away the Snyder Cut either on Twitter or on YouTube, but you gotta be a subscriber. You gotta follow and retweet and then join this YouTube channel, man. And it is so humbling to have so many people active in the chat, so many people support this platform that I try to bring to you. The energy, the love. Man, this gaming life is something that I've been into from day one. Shout out to my brother Pong Soul in the chat, because we both started with that Pong system, man. A couple of my other friends too, man. And it's always greatly to see y'all consistently supporting and showing up, man. And we're going to get into these. Oh, my other brothers in the building. You got to shout out to the
Dragons TV welcomes four guys with quarters.
My boy, Mr. Time Clowns, a.k.a. the Louisville Smuggler, is in the building. Happy birthday to your daughter. You already know how we give it up in these streets, man. Sir X-Man is in the building. Shout out to my older brother, a.k.a. the old ass gamer. Facts, man. But we are getting out of here. PK. Where can they find the most electrifying YouTuber, wrestler, jump off that top row, hit you with that people's elbow? Where can they find you, brother? Where can they find you?
Hey, man, definitely. Thanks, bro. Hey, every Saturday we hitting it up on the Dragon's Den. Definitely. We got some. Looks like we're doing a live event on the 7th, so keep tuned for that. Definitely every Thursday on 4GQ TV and checking us out on Friday evening if you got time on GRG. We definitely trying to end the weekend with some good conversation. That's for
Facts.
sure. So definitely find me PKX Live at Twitter. Hey, hit me up, DM me. We'll get some gaming in, no doubt. But thanks for coming through, everyone.
Man, you already know how your boy Lemon give it up, man. I'm happy to have y'all here, man. The energy is always on 1,000. Listen, man. Listen. We'll be back next week. I got a big review on a piece of content, man. I want all my content creators to tune in. It's a device. It's a tripod. When I show you what this thing is do, it's going to be amazing, man. But listen. Thank you for sharing your Saturday with us, man. I know we got that family time in the building, man. I know we got things we have to do, and our time is valuable. But like I always say, and I will keep saying, bring your game and not your name. And I will see y'all during this week's episodes. And the next Dragon Den, it will be Dragon's Den number 20, baby. We at 20! Let's go! See y'all in the next one, people. Peace.